are back with brunch. Lovely, lovely brunch. A taste of Tobago. You caught me though because I was having a wonderful conversation with our two guests who are joining us. Now, we enter into so many topics of conversation on the show, and today is no different. In fact, it's a wonderful Friday to talk literary devices. It's a wonderful Friday to speak about reading. It's a wonderful Friday to speak about a book launch, which is what we're going to be talking about next. So, Natasha Coker James. Jones.
Yes.
Let me say that over. I don't know what's going on with Jason today, let me say that over. Natasha Coker Jones joins us, author and entrepreneur, and also Mr. Israel D. Gordon. So I'm taking my time because I believe names are our blueprints, and I do my best to pronounce as best or as close to as I possibly can. And they're here to speak on a book launch for this wonderful, wonderful piece of work, Sunsets for Betty. That is the name of the book. Yes, Sunsets for Betty. And let me take the time to welcome you guys. So thank you.
Thank you.
For being with us today. So we're going to delve right in. So, Natasha, let me start with you.
Okay.
Tell me about this wonderful event. Let's start there.
The event is a book launch. So we are launching our book. It's a co-author arrangement. And I'll tell you some more about the idea behind it and how it came about. And it's called Sunsets for Betty. It's a novella, and it will be at the Scarborough Library on Saturday. So Saturday morning, all roads lead to the Scarborough Library.
Right.
So we'll be having the book launch, and we are very, very excited about all that it represents for the people of Tobago.
Definitely. And I'm looking at the imaging because I'm a stickler for imagery. And you're already enveloped without even reading the book as yet. So that's a whole other vibe. That's a whole other vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah? So Israel, tell me, what was it like creating with Miss Natasha here? What was that process like?
I think it was divinely orchestrated. The original idea and thought and project, I believe, was divinely inspired. And I was led to this beautiful young lady here. After a period of time, I consulted with her. I thought that there was not enough of it as I had it. And I consulted with her. And then I quickly found out that was the wise thing to do.
Yes.
So she agreed, and we did some changes, made some adjustments, and added the all-important historical factor into the book. We did some research at the library at UWI. Alma Jordan Library. I came up here last year, and I did a little research in the library here.
Right.
And spoke with one Miss Finance, and it just went on from there.
So that kind of, it sped the wheels in motion, as they say.
Yes. And I got, from speaking with Finance, Miss Finance, she was also excited. And then I took the liberty to find out whether there was, in fact, any such book, any such endeavor before ours. And I found that there is no known attempt to form a story around that mystery tombstone. I happen to be from Plymouth.
And I went to Plymouth Anglican School.
Oh, great. I think all my sisters, all three of them are there now.
Mm-hmm.
I think all three of them went right there because we actually lived at the back, which might be the eastern part behind the tombstone. If you come down the main road, you walk into that
Right.
site. So at the back of it, there's a back road there, and that's where my grandmother and mother lived. So it was something that it sort of is expected. I think God chose to have somebody from Plymouth come up with this.
I
You
think
know,
so. I think
who-
you used
there's
the
no
right
better-
word. You said divine.
Yeah.
And that is such a fitting word because if you're noticing, because I'm listening to you, and so many little aspects just fall into place
Yeah.
on this journey to this point and creating, and the mystery tombstone is such a staple of our culture, our art, our history, and doing something like this, like you said, there's no known literary work
Yes.
in this regard. And so you guys are considered the pioneers. You're considered the trailblazers.
Yes.
And that's a wonderful place to be.
Yes.
Yeah. So the book is centered around the mystery tombstone. And, I was just reading a bit of the lovely, first of all, I'm loving the font. It's so inviting. It's so clear. If storytelling is alive and well in Tobago, then Betty Stuyven, or is it Stephen?
Stuyven.
Stuyven deserves some credit. Her mystery tombstone in Plymouth has tickled the imaginations of Tobagonians and visitors alike, prompting no end of possible explanations. And this is the part that stands out, of possible explanations, because it's a question. I've been hearing this for so long, for my time on the earth, and it's still a mystery. It's still a puzzling type of question, and that adds so much resonance. There's so much, so much spice. There's so much just not knowing. It makes you want to delve in, and I love the fact that there's literary work. There's actually a book.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad about the mystery because my mother's Tobagonian. And I asked Mommy, how come you didn't tell me about the mystery tombstone? But I am so glad that, I call him Brother Gordon, Reverend Gordon, when he came and he shared this, and it was a couple of years ago that he did it, it resonated with me. I told him, I remember saying, this is an excellent idea. And I would have given him some professional advice back then.
Right.
And sent him on his way, for him to do what he had to do with the short story that he had developed at the time. And I think, this year, when he came back, and he, it had evolved some more. Yet, when I looked at it, there were some gaps, and he asked for my help. He reached out. And so that in that collaborative process, it took it to another level.
Definitely.
It took it to another level. And it was a thing of beauty to have done the research, to have gone. Remember when we went to the Alma Jordan Library, and they were so accommodating. I really have to thank Miss Laurie Nero, who is the senior librarian there and the head of the West Indiana and Special Collections. And she's also a reviewer in the book. And they just opened the doors for us to come in and get the tools that we needed. And I also want to say thanks to the people of Tobago and all those who have written books over the years, because those books and the published work would have informed what we had to do in a significant way.
Definitely.
So we had archives where we could go and see what we needed to get in order to infuse that into the narrative.
Yeah. And it's so important for our story to be told.
Yes.
It's connecting us. A lot of our existence, a lot of our experiences as Tobagonian people, as Trinidadian people, as Caribbean people, a lot of our history is really, really, you can't really pick all of the differences out. It's like there's so many similarities in terms of our existence as Caribbean people. There is that plantation. There's that plantation house somewhere in
Yes.
there.
Correct.
There is that colonialist, and there are things that are common
Absolutely.
to what our existence speaks to. I mean, of course, our existence did not start with slavery. There was life on the continent before. But however, coming to these shores, there was a certain level that each Caribbean island would have experienced. And I think, this is so fitting because even if you look at the cover, you can see, all right, so it's a plantation setting and you have a slave girl, you have the elitist who is represented as well. So it's like I said, you guys are pioneers. You are trailblazers and you're forever etched in history because this is something that is so historical and such an integral part of Tobagonian history and culture.
So grateful. I'm so grateful to Mr. Gordon, Reverend Gordon,
Yes.
for pulling me into this project because, as you said, it's an important story to tell. And I think that just being a part of it was so enlightening and it gave me a deeper appreciation for Tobago, for my Caribbean heritage, for my African ancestry, because it is historical fiction. And we had to do a deep dive into the 18th century Tobago.
Right.
And what we unearthed, nothing short of fascinating. Fascinating. And I think when people read it, not only will they experience the enjoyment, the entertainment value from reading, but they will also get that sense of who we are and a greater appreciation. This is our hope.
Yes, definitely. And we're getting ready to wrap, but before we do that, I just want to commend you guys once again. It's not just about bringing Tobagonian history alive, but you also delved into the human aspect of things, the relationship between man and woman. And sometimes we sweep that under the carpet when we talk about slavery. We talk about all of the suffering and the turmoil and the misery, but there was love. There were relationships that formed, and so it's really, really, really riveting to be able to delve into that. So I just want to commend you so much. Before we wrap, just reiterate, when is the showing once again and where? You said the Scarborough Library. Just remind us of the day and time so that our viewers can have a look-see.
So this will be done tomorrow.
Yes.
Saturday the 25th. And it's going to be at the Scarborough Library.
Right.
Right. But it should start around 10, hopefully. It is something that we have planned. Not having a long bit of time to plan it.
Right.
But we have planned it as near perfection as we can. Yeah, I should say that. This is something that we are proud of, right? Me being born here, but grew up in Trinidad. So I think Trinidadians could have a sense of of being a part of this production also.
Absolutely.
I was told that I was taken to Trinidad around the age of 9 months. Right, my mother and father were from Plymouth, and so we are a nation. As far as this book is concerned, it belongs to the nation of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, it does. And you said it so well. I have nothing else to say. He said it already, guys. So we just want to thank Natasha, Israel. Thank you so much for being with us. And we wish you success and blessings from our family to yours. We're going to take a break, guys. We're going to be right back with more Brunch, A Taste of Tobago. But before we do that, our trivia question for today: where in Tobago would you find the Hummingbird Gallery? The answer at the end of the show. You guys get to typing. I'm anxious to see what you come up with. We're going to take a break and we're going to be right back with more Brunch, A Taste of Tobago.